Wherever you may be, welcome to beautiful Dodger Stadium on a lovely summer's evening as the Dodgers and the New York Mets conclude a 3-game series. First ball honor has already been dished out by the popular actor Matthew McConaughey, and going to the mound to pitch to Brad Osmus, he had himself a big breaking ball that dropped in for a strike, and we're underway. So McConaughey gives fives, gets fives, and now the Dodgers take the field, and they're ready to go to work. The Dodgers taking the field with a record of 28-13. They've won 3 straight, and they are 7.5 games in front of the second-place club in the West, the San Francisco Giants. The Mets, meanwhile, are 1 game behind the Phillies, and they try to salvage a game in this 3-game series. Jose Reyes at short, Luis Castillo at second, and Carlos Beltran in center. David Wright will be at third base, followed by Daniel Murphy at first base, Ryan Church in right field, Ramon Castro will be behind the plate, Angel Pagan will be in left field, and Livan Hernandez on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, the veteran right-hander Jeff Weaver, and when you say veteran, this will be his 289th appearance in a Major League game and his 270th start. His record against the Mets 2-1. But the last time he started was 3 years ago at Shea Stadium. He was then a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. So it'll be Jeff Weaver going up against the Mets as the Dodgers try to sweep New York, and then wait on for the Los Angeles Angels, who will be in here. We can check the Dodgers defensively. The outfield of Juan Pierre. Xavier Paul gives Matt Kemp a night off. Andre Ethier in right. The infield of Blake and Furcal. Hudson and Loney. That's right, Hudson is in the lineup. And the battery of Weaver and Martin. Orlando, who landed heavily on his left shoulder, is okay. Matt Kemp is fine. He's just getting a well-deserved rest. And the Dodgers and the Mets ready to conclude things as we take a look at Orlando Hudson, and he appears to be solid. The last time the Dodgers swept a 3-game series here against the New York Mets was June of 2007. Though they're ready now to face Jose Reyes, followed by Luis Castillo and then Carlos Beltran. It's interesting that the Dodgers have won the first 2 games of the series despite hitting only 143 with runners in scoring position. Torrey had to sweat it out. They're 3 for 21, but they've won the first 2 games. How about the Mets? As Reyes checks in, Weaver's first pitch is swung on and lifted to center. Xavier Paul looks up into that powder blue and makes the catch for the out. So Reyes doesn't hang around. Fly ball, 1 up, 1 away. Luis Castillo coming up. The Mets, with runners in scoring position, are hitting only 176. But the key for Dodger pitching so far is that Jerry Manuel has had David Wright and Carlos Beltran, his 2 top hitters. Each have only been up once with runners in scoring position over the 2 games. So it's been a rather interesting, although sometimes bizarre, series. And here is Luis Castillo. Castillo, the second baseman, looks at a pitch, and that's low, ball 1. For the moment, we have 3 umpires. Jerry Meals, Mike Jamuro, and Dale Scott. We are missing 1 umpire, and there's a story behind that. Here's the 1-0 pitch coming up to Castillo. He shows bunt, takes a strike, 1-1. James Hoy, who was umpiring in this series, fell ill. So they sent out word, we need an umpire. Jake Uhlenhaupt is arriving by air, and we understand his plane was supposed to land maybe 20 minutes ago, but he's already in uniform, ready to umpire. Weaver's fastball is low and away. 2-1 the count to Castillo. So I assume that Jake changed from street clothes into his umpiring gear in the bathroom on the plane. He will make his Major League debut as an umpire if and when he gets here. Come on, Jake. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and Castillo slaps it down the left field line, foul and out of play. One other thing about the Mets and why they have lost 2 in a row here. Remember, when they arrived, Jerry Manuel's club was 12-4. They had beaten the Dodgers 4 of the last 5 meetings last year, and they were 5 games above 500. Well, all 11 hits have been singles. Here's the 2-2 pitch, a line drive right at Furcal, 2 down. And you might say, wait a minute, how about Angel Pagan's triple? Well, remember, that was instead converted into only a single when Ryan Church missed the bag at third base. So that's the story on the Mets and the Dodgers. Neither team doing much, but the Dodgers got the big blow last night from Casey Blake. Here now is Carlos Beltran hitting .364, one of the premier hitters in the league. 2 out, first inning, no score. Weaver ready, Jeff deals, fastball low and inside, ball 1. 73 degrees at the start of the ball game. A lovely evening. Weaver goes to the back of the mound. We'll see his brother Jared when the Angels get here Friday. 1 ball and no strikes, the count. Weaver set at the belt. Jeff ready now, and the pitch to Beltran is swung on, hit to the gap in left center. Paul on the dead run, can't get it. It'll go to the wall, and there's the extra base hit that the Mets have been looking for. Beltran's double. Way back in the first game, Pagan had a double and David Wright had a couple, and then their next 11 were singles, and now the double for Beltran. So with a runner in scoring position, and David Wright will be coming in trying to pick him up. The Beltran visiting with Orlando Hudson at second base, and David Wright checks in. The Mets had a revolving door at third base for years. It seems like every club goes through it. 138 players have appeared at third base for the Mets since they started in 1962. David takes down and away. Only 6 appeared in as many as 300 games, and Wright has played in just about 740 games. He's going to be there for a lot longer than that, too. By the way, one of the 138 to play third base for the Mets, Dodger manager Joe Torre. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Weaver looks back. Hudson goes to the bag. The pitch to Wright is off the plate, and a 2-ball, no strike count. So Orlando Hudson is trying to take a step away from Carlos Beltran. Beltran is a very knowledgeable base runner. He has stolen 6 out of 7. And with Blake deep at third, there is a temptation to try and come over. The 2-0 pitch to Wright is swung on, sliced down the right field line, going foul back into the seats, and the count 2-1. Just starting first inning. Interesting, the other night when the Mets had just one of those nightmare games that almost every team has, but when the Mets had it, you immediately thought back to 1962, the hapless, lovable team in New York. But something happened this year that's right out of the 62 Mets playbook. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way to David Wright. Jeff delivers, fastball fouled away. A lady Mets fan dropped her gold tooth into the toilet in Citi Field, reached in and got her arm stuck and could not get out. And she began screaming in the John. Finally, a crowd gathered outside. They had to call the plumbing company that installed the toilet. Eventually, they got her out. But that's out of the Mets of 62, isn't it? As David Wright takes low ball 3. 3-2 the count. No one is sure whether they had to destroy the toilet in order to free her. They also don't know how come she dropped her gold tooth. They don't believe she got it back. So you see, the Mets are lingering around even new Citi Field, at least in the ladies' room. 3-2 the count to David Wright. There goes Beltran, and the pitch fouled away. So temptation with Blake deep at third and a full count. Carlos took off. Usually when he tries to steal, he succeeds. Beltran with a percentage of around 88% in his career, and as we said, he's stolen 6 out of 7 this year. 2 out, first inning. Beltran at second base. Weaver straightens up, another look back. Carlos bluffs. There he goes again. The pitch is low, and Beltran steals third on ball 4. So just like that, runners at first and third, 2 out, and the batter will be Daniel Murphy. The Mets say, according to Jerry Manuel, they're going to leave Daniel Murphy at first base and see if he can't just stay there and play the position. The Mets are heading for Boston. It will take them a while. The estimated time of arrival for the New York Mets, they play here tonight and then eventually fly to Boston. Estimated time of arrival 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. They're off tomorrow, but they'll spend part of that sleeping, I'm sure. So Murphy, left-hand hitter, takes off the plate. Ball 1, 1-0. And I'm sure heading for Boston, Daniel Murphy will get quite a reception. So Murph, left-hand hitter, batting .273. Played third base in college, playing first base in the big leagues. Looks at a pitch for a strike. And 1 ball and 1 strike the count. No score, first inning. Murphy went to school at the University of Jacksonville. Yes, first and third. David Wright at first, Carlos Beltran at third. And the 1-1 pitch coming up. Jeff Weaver deals, and that's off the plate. Ball 2, 2-1 the count. So Jeff working on somewhat of a wonderkind, the fact that Daniel Murphy was signed in 2006. So he's arrived in the big leagues in a hurry. Got a lot of talent, obviously. Daniel, 24 years old. 2-1 pitch is swung on and fouled away upstairs off to the left. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's one other story about New York and the Mets and old Shea Stadium. There's an astronaut, Mike Messamino, up there repairing the Hubble Space Telescope. And with him is home plate from Shea Stadium. What happened was a little while ago, a couple of years ago, a Yankee fan, also an astronaut, brought dirt from Yankee Stadium into outer space. So the Mets now have an astronaut carrying home plate. He's going to bring it back when he returns, and they'll no doubt have quite a happy ceremony at City Park, bringing back the home plate of old Shea Stadium. The astronaut who brought the dirt from Yankee Stadium, his name was Garrett Reisman. Okay, 2-2 the count. A throw to first, David Wright diving back on the bag. He has stolen 10, but Wright has also been caught 7 times. So the deuce is wild right away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Beltran at third, Wright at first. Jeff Weaver trying to get out of the inning, straightens up, set at the belt. Here he comes 2-2, and it is strike 3 called. Murphy can't believe it. Turns as if to look for help from the bench and walks away. No runs, a hit, 2 left. At the end of half an inning, no score. Jeff got out of trouble. Now to the bottom of the first. Here the way the Dodgers stack up. Juan Pierre in left. Rafael Furcal at short. Orlando Hudson returns to play second base. Andre Ethier in right. Russell Martin the catcher. James Loney at first. Xavier Paul makes a start in center field to give Matt Kemp a rest. Casey Blake at third. And on the mound, Jeff Weaver. On the mound for the Mets, Livan Hernandez out of Villa Clara in Cuba. In fact, he grew up in the same place where Fidel Castro was sent to prison back in 1953 after his first attempt to take over Cuba. Livan Hernandez is 34 years old, and he has won 150 games in his career. Juan Pierre starts, has a look, and takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Pierre hitting .400, and the veteran Hernandez ready. Livan strike one pitch, drops in there nicely, 0-2. Pierre, in the 12 games that he has started in left field, has hit .429. So he has really been a spearhead. Strike two pitch on the way is a fastball hit foul down the left field line out of play, and the count stays 0-2. So Pierre followed by Furcal and then Hudson. Of course, they know each other very well, Livan Hernandez and Juan Pierre. Pierre is hitting .271 against him. And the strike two pitch, little nubber down to get it is Hernandez, fires too late. That would be called a swinging bunt. It wound up traveling about the distance of a good bunt, and Pierre just swung and topped it and legs it for a single. So Juan Pierre beats the throw to Danny Murphy, and the Dodgers have a runner with nobody out. And now Rafael Furcal coming up, and Furcal has worn out Hernandez. He's hitting .333 against him with 4 home runs, so they know each other very well. Hernandez works from the first base side of the rubber. The veteran right-handed deals and gets a strike, 0-1. Pierre has stolen 7 out of 10. Bottom of the first inning, no score. One thing about Livan Hernandez, you really don't need a pitch count with him. When he was in Cuba, he said he would routinely make 175 pitches in a game. He turns and throws to first. In the big leagues, he made 143 pitches in a game for Montreal in 6 1/3 innings. So he has been blessed with quite an arm. Livan ready, checking another throw, and again Pierre diving back. Bottom of the first inning, the Mets left runners at first and third. The Dodgers, who have scored 43 runs in the first inning, would like to get on the board again. Strike one pitch on the way, and Furcal takes low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers have scored the 43 runs in 23 of the 41 games. Who does everything very carefully, very slowly, out of a stretch. He's also a very good fielder. 1-1 pitch. Pierre poised, does not go. Furcal takes outside, ball 2. 2-1 the count. You may remember, as Furcal looks down to Larry Boa on a 2-1 count, see if the Dodgers might play hit and run. Livan Hernandez's half-brother was rather famous, El Duque Orlando, 10 years older than Livan. All right, we'll watch Pierre, 2-1 count, and so will Livan as he throws to first. Hernandez is 6'2", 245. Straddling the rubber, then toes it with the right foot. A lot going on here. A veteran pitcher and a veteran successful base stealer, along with a veteran hitter. There, Pierre bluffs, and Furcal promptly hits it into right field for a base hit, and Pierre will stop at second. So a squib single by Pierre and a drive single to right by Furcal, and the Dodgers are in business with nobody out. First and second, and Hudson, Ethier, and Martin coming up. Dodgers have been playing excellent ball in May. They are 13-5 in the month, but they're out of sight here at Dodger Stadium. They are 16-3 at home. That's the best in the major leagues. They won 3 in a row. Joe Torre's club leads the National League in runs scored with 230, and the team batting average at Dodger Stadium is .302. So here's Orlando. Banged that shoulder, his left shoulder last night, trying to make a desperate catch, but bounced right back to play tonight. We'll see what they have with their number 3 hitter. He takes ball 1. So Hernandez is struggling. A squib single, a line drive single, and Larry Boa appears to be busy in the third base coaching box. Hernandez strikeout to walk ratio just about 2-1. However, he's allowed far more hits than innings pitched. The 1-0 pitch, and Orlando takes a look, and that's low, ball 2. Hernandez comes in with an ERA of almost 6. And he has given up 6 home runs. That's worst on the team. So the veteran who won as many as 15 for the Nationals a few years ago comes in here with a record of 3-1. The pitch to Hudson is taken for a strike, and the count jumps to 2-1. So he had 2-1 on Furcal. Pierre bluffed, and Furcal single to right. Otherwise, if Pierre's going, he's at third. Now you have 2 rabbits out there and a 2-1 count to Orlando Hudson. Hudson, by the way, is grounded into 2 double plays. Orlando waiting a check of the runners. They are not going, and the pitch is taken off the plate. Ball 3. So the Dodgers weren't playing hit and run. Now we'll see if they play run and hit. The obvious definition, run and hit. You don't have to swing at ball 4. 2-1, you're obligated to swing at anything. And Andre Ethier is out on deck. 3-1 to Orlando Hudson. Livan Hernandez out of a stretch. The 3-1 pitch is taken for a strike, and the count 3-2. Hudson has walked 22 times, and he has struck out 27. So you have a full count and nobody out. Again, he is grounded into 2 double plays. All of that goes into the mental mixer of Joe Torre, and we'll see if he runs Pierre and Furcal. Hernandez chewing some gum, looks down the barrel to get a sign from Castro. Livan's been a pro since 1996, and Hudson, tired of waiting, backs out. All right, now they hook up again. Orlando back in, hitting .349 left-handed. Runners take their leads. Hernandez very slow, very deliberate. Runners inch off. They go, and the pitch is swung on and grounded to first. Nice pick there by Daniel Murphy to the bag, and the runners move up to second and third. So Pierre at third, Furcal at second, and Andre Ethier coming up. So if nothing else, Hudson bounces one to move the runners along. Andre Ethier looking for a base hit. It would be his first in the series. He is 0 for 9, and as you probably know, he has been struggling now for quite a while. In the last 12 games, Ethier has hit just 118. So his average went from 327 to the present 257. First base open. Hernandez ready and deals, and the pitch is off the plate. Ball 1, 1-0. Ethier 6 for 14 against Livan Hernandez. That's close to 500, including a home run. So the Dodgers so close to scoring in the first inning, and Ethier takes low. So Hernandez behind 2-0. Russell Martin on deck, however, is just 2 for 15 against Hernandez. So we will see if Livan is really trying to pitch around Ethier. Second and third, 1 out. First inning, no score. Levon is set. Big guy deals, and it's swung on and lifted to right center. It's catchable, but both runners tail. The catch by Ryan Church. Pierre scores for call to third, and the Dodgers have done it again. They have scored in the first inning and lead 1-0. So for Andre Ethier, maybe not the hit he was looking for, but he comes up with a scoring fly ball. So the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead here in the first inning. And with a runner at third and 2 out, the batter is Russell Martin. As we always do with a runner at third, we check the pitcher. For Livan Hernandez, no wild pitches. Veteran will pitch out of his stretch as Martin checks in. Russell hitting .264. Hernandez just looks over at third, comes to the plate way off. 1 ball and no strikes. Hernandez telling Luis Castillo not to play up the middle, to move way over to his left. So Hernandez setting the chess pieces on the board, moving Castillo over. For call down the line from third, the 1-0 pitch is a fly ball to right field. Church is there. Ryan waiting, makes the catch. So all things considered, Livan got out of it cheaply enough. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. At the end of an inning, Dodgers 1, Mets 0. Be Ryan Church, Ramon Castro, and then Angel Pagan. Tomorrow an off day, and for the Dodgers, they will cherish that day off because then they get to a stretch where they play 17 games in a row without a day off, starting with the Angels. Then they go to Colorado, then they go to Chicago, then they come back and play Arizona, Philadelphia, and San Diego. So they'll be playing from the 22nd through the 10th of June. All right, Ryan Church hitting .275, left-hand hitter. Jeff Weaver deals, and a big breaking ball sweeps in for a strike. 0-1 the count. Ryan Church, 1 home run, 8 runs batted in, and of course suffered the indignity of missing third base the other night. No balls and 1 strike to count. He's hit safely in 9 of his last 10 games. Weaver delivers, and it's fouled away. The Church in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Ryan from Santa Barbara. Went to school at the University of Nevada, primarily a pitcher in those days. Over the last 5 games, hitting a little bit better than .350. Strike 2 pitch to the right fielder, and Ryan swings and hits a drive to right. Going back on the ball is Ethier at the wall. It is off the wall. Church hustling for second. A close play, but he's in there. Boy, you talk about a big league play. Andre Ethier takes one off the wall and almost got Ryan Church at second base. Church, being a left-handed batter, had those 3 extra steps to first, and it paid off at second. So Church, a line drive double to right. Ethier, a fine play. Ball landed maybe a foot, 2 feet from the top of the wall. The throw for call just missed getting him. So the tying runs at second base, nobody out. 2 doubles now after a great effort by Ethier. Ramon Castro hits a soft line drive right to Furcal. The term line drive only to describe the trajectory. The ball was not hit hard. So 1 away. Church still at second. And the batter now will be Angel Pagan. Angel Pagan the other night had 4 hits. Unfortunately for him, it looked like he had an 11th inning triple. But when Ryan Church missed third base, Pagan's triple turned out to be only a single. Well, we told you about Jake Uhlenhop, the umpire ready to make his major league debut. The pitch is a little low, ball 1 to Pagan. Anyway, we also understood that he was in uniform in the airplane so that he wouldn't waste too much time here. We're now in the top of the second inning. We have not seen him, but we understand he is in the umpire's room. Meanwhile, Pagan way out in front of an off-speed pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Angel Pagan, despite having that big night of 4 hits, did not start last night. Appeared as a pinch hitter and struck out. So Church, a leadoff double, still at second. Dodgers lead 1-0. 1-1 pitch is fouled away, and the count 1-2. So Jeff Weaver made 20 pitches in the first inning, gave up a double, a walk, and a stolen base, and survived it. Now gives up a leadoff double in the second inning, but he is still holding on to a 1-0 lead. And remember that note we told you about the Mets hitting with runners in scoring position. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, and it's taken low, 2-2. They had Beltran in scoring position when Murphy struck out. Though right now the Mets are 3 for 18 with runners in scoring position. Then it became 19 when Castro lined out. So they're 3 for 19, and here is Pagan. And the 2-2 pitch coming up. Weaver deals, little ground ball to the right side. Hudson is up with it to get him, and on the ground ball, Church moves to third. So now Livan Hernandez is coming up, and you say to yourself, well, you're out of the woods. Not really. Livan Hernandez is one of the better pitchers to play the game as a hitter. In his career, Livan has 9 home runs, 75 runs batted in. So you have to be very careful. Although he has not done much this year, he's just 1 for 11. He takes a fastball strike, and the count 0-1. Hernandez has a career batting average of .231 going into this year. So he's anything but an automatic out. He hit a home run against Jeff Weaver, so they know each other. Strike 1 pitch is a chopper right back to the box, fielded nicely by Weaver to throw him out. That could easily have gone through into center field. So there's 3 more failures for the Mets with a runner in scoring position. That means they're now 3 for 20, and it's 1-0 Dodgers. Major League player making his Major League debut. Tonight we point out a young umpire. He's 32 years old, Jake Uhlenhopp. Uhlenhopp. Good luck to you, Jake, as he makes his debut tonight as a big league umpire, standing on the third base foul line. And James Loney up there takes a strike, and the count 0-1. James Hoy, who had umpired in the first two games, unable to answer the bell, and we trust James will be okay. Loney, meanwhile, takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike. It is a grind for the umpires day after day. No chance to sit in the dugout half an inning. You're out there standing for at least 9. 1-1 pitch, foul back. It is a lonely life when you realize that most Major League umpires do not live in Major League cities. Dale Scott could write a book. He's the crew chief, along with Mike DeMuro, Jerry Meals. So the young Jake Uhlenhopp begins his career as a Major League umpire. The 1-2 pitch, high and away, ball 2, 2-2 the count. Livan Hernandez gave up 2 singles, one of them a little squibber halfway to the mound, and that cost him a run. His 2-2 pitch on the way. Hernandez a changeup, and it's banged into center for a base hit. So James Loney takes the change and promptly hits it into center, and the batter will be Xavier Paul. So Loney with a base hit to try and start something in the second inning. Xavier Paul did not appear in last night's game. He did appear as a pinch hitter in the extra inning game and grounded out. Left-hand batter ready to check in, hitting .273, 3 for 11. Hernandez out of his stretch. Loney a short lead, and the pitch at the plate is low, ball 1, 1-0. Dodgers 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and the Mets no runs, 2 hits and no errors. Xavier Paul at the plate, and last night's hero, Casey Blake, who's honored tonight with a bobblehead, is out on deck. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Paul chases one off the plate, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Not that Livan throws very hard. That fastball was clocked at 85, but he worked it away, and Paul went after it. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Hernandez, who gives you the attitude on the mound like he's waiting for a bus. There just seems to be no emotion whatsoever as he flips it outside and low, ball 2, 2-1. Toes the rubber, chews his gum, just waiting for Paul to get back in. He's already had a couple of 2-1 counts and a 3-1 count. All right, Paul gets back in the box. Livan ready to go back to work. Loney off the bag, and the 2-1 pitch is instead a throw to first. Loney steps back on. 2-1, you wonder about hit and run. Loney has stolen 2 bases, and he's been caught once. Two balls and 1 strike. 1-0 Dodgers. Hernan delivers, and he gets it in there for a strike, and the count 2-2. Livan Hernandez in his career 1 game under 500 here at Dodger Stadium, 5-6. Lifetime, he has beaten the Dodgers 9 times, and they've nailed him 13. Hernandez ready, the 2-2 pitch, and Paul swings and hits it in the air to left field. Right there is Angel Pagan, and back to first goes Loney. So 1 away. You know, you can experience Dodger Stadium like never before with a ticket to the Baseline Box Club. You get VIP access to our Baseline Club. Pull up a cushioned seat, enjoy the extra leg room, watch the action from seats so close they used to be part of the field. So learn more at Dodgers.com/premium or call 323-224-1320 and join the club. Here's Casey Blake. Got a fastball up last night and hit it into the left field pavilion. Casey takes one for a strike, and the count 0-1. For Blake, last night he fouled out, single to left, scored a run, hit the 3-run home run, and then lost a base hit on a fine play by David Wright. Casey, right hand hitter, waiting the strike one pitch, swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. Casey Blake bobblehead, and by the way, the bobblehead has the beard. Oh yes. There you go. Be very big in Indiana. No balls and 2 strikes. Swung on and hit into left center for a base hit. Down to second base goes Loney and Hold. They throw back of him, but James is on the bag. The runners at first and second, 1 out, and Jeff Weaver coming up. So for the bobblehead, sometimes the fella honored has a big night, other times not so good, but for Casey Blake, he starts off on the right foot. 2 on, 1 out, pretty good hitting pitcher Jeff Weaver checking in. Weaver is 1 for 6. 1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits for the Mets. Hernandez delivers the bunt in the air, foul caught at first baseman Daniel Murphy, taking it away from Ramon Castro. So Weaver tries to move the men along and pops it up. And with 2 down, the batter is Juan Pierre. By the way, that reminds us tonight, Jim Leland got burned. He had 2 men on base. He had the batter sacrifice, and he fouled the bunt off. So the next pitch, he had his runners going, and the batter lined into a triple play. So sometimes it works. Sometimes you're better off when it doesn't work. Here's Pierre. And Juan takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Pierre hit a ball about 20 feet out in front of home plate and legged it when Hernandez's throw was a little late. Juan then came around to score a run, hitting .407 for the year, .440 for the last 13 games. Strike 1 pitch on the way, and that's on the outside corner. 0-2 the count to Juan Pierre. Two on. You have Loney at second, Blake at first. Out of a stretch goes Hernandez, the veteran right-hander. Strike 2 pitch on the way. Poked wide at third. Down to get it is Wright. Steps on the bag, and that's the inning. So Pierre going one off the plate. Almost hit it over the bag, but not quite. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. And at the end of 2, 1-0 Dodgers. hit for a call, singled into second. Hudson grounded out, moving the runners along. Umpier's long fly ball picked up the run. Meanwhile, Danny Warthen talking to Levan Hernandez, I think, about his breaking ball. Also talking about hitting it both, and we watch pantomime. Jose Reyes takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Reyes hitting .281. Has been bothered with tendinitis of the calf, and it worked its way up to the back of the knee, so he missed the first game. Strike one pitch, the young shortstop takes a strike, and the count 0-2. Reyes last night had an infield single. He went 1 for 4. That was the pop fly when Hudson went out, tried to catch it, and fell hard on his left shoulder. Strike two pitch, way off. 1-2 the count. Jeff Weaver plugged in because Eric Stoltz could not answer the bell, out with a sore thumb. 1-2 the count. Weaver set, ready, comes by way of third, breaking ball fouled away. The Angels will be here Friday, and Jeff's younger brother Jared Weaver will go up against Clayton Kershaw. That ought to be quite a matchup Friday night. Then John Lackey Saturday night against Randy Wolf. And Matt Palmer, who's quite a story, will go against Chad Billingsley on Sunday. Dodgers go out on the road then to Colorado. As Weaver comes back with a pitch grounded to the hole. Great stop by Orlando. Throws back on a bounce in time. Orlando Hudson will not quit on a ground ball or a pop fly. He is dedicated and concentrated on going after the ball. And even though he was in right field when he lunged at it, the off-balance throw on a bounce to Loney was just in time to nip Reyes. Another wonderful play by the Gold Glove second baseman. So one away here in the third. Weaver applauding his second baseman's play. And Luis Castillo, who lined to short, checks in. Castillo takes a breaking ball strike. Top of the Mets lineup, you have three switch hitters, Reyes, Castillo, and Beltran. Then after David Wright, you have left-handers Murphy and Church. And then when you get down to number 8 slot, another switch hitter, Angel Pagan. Weaver's pitch gets away at the plate to the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count. Castillo back up, hitting .275 with 11 runs batted in. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Line drive slapped into left field for a base hit. Juan Pierre is up with it. For Castillo, he was 0 for 5 in the first game. Didn't play last night. And now is 1 for 2 tonight. You know, Sunday, head to the beach. That's right. Bleacher Beach at Dodger Stadium. You know, that's the all-inclusive section in Dodger Town. All-you-can-eat barbecue, a Dodger beach bag, an oceanfront experience with a bird's-eye view of the game. And the beach opens Sunday with the Angels. Purchase tickets, visit Dodgers.com/beach or call 866-DODGERS. And again, remember, carrying the idea, please, no beach balls. Pitch in the dirt. Nice block by Russell Martin. Boy, was he all over the place last night catching Chad Billingsley. And now Weaver bounces one, and Russell does a fine job of keeping the ball out in front of him. Castillo over there at first has stolen 6 out of 7, so Martin looks over to see if they want to pitch out. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 Dodgers, top of the third. Weaver at the belt, over the top, a shot right on by Loney and down the right field line. Castillo on his way to third. Up with the ball is Umpire. They're going to wave Castillo in. The ball is dropped by Orlando Hudson into second base goes Beltran, and we have a 1-1 tie. Hudson would not have had a play. Castillo was going to score anyway. So Carlos Beltran hits a shot between Loney and the bag and doubles in Castillo. For Beltran, he is 2 for 2, both doubles. Loney moving to his right, and the ball was hit to his left, and Castillo running hard, able to score. So when you realize the play by Orlando Hudson to get Reyes, if Orlando doesn't make that play, the Mets probably have 2 runs. The Castillo brings it in. Beltran at second, and the pitch to David Wright way outside. Ball 1, 1-0. So we have a 1-1 tie here in the 3rd inning. 1 run and 4 hits for each side. Wright walked in the 1st inning. David with 28 runs batted in, hitting .361. Hudson to the bag, draws a throw. Diving back is Beltran. Remember, Beltran stole 3rd on ball 4 to David Wright in the 1st inning. When you are as talented as Beltran on the base paths and you have a hitter like Wright, 3rd baseman has to play back, so the door is slightly ajar. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, fouled off, 1-1. Yeah, that's the line little kids like. You ask them the question, when is a door not a door? And they say, I don't know when, and you say, when it's ajar. So if you got a 5-year-old, that'll be pretty good. 1-1 to count to David Wright. Beltran at second, a run in a 1-1 tie. Weaver straightens up, another look back at second. Jeff ready and deals, and it is swung on and missed at the plate. So David Wright up there with a 1-2 count. David Wright and Jose Reyes figure to be teammates manning the left side of the Mets infield for a lot of years. Longer certainly than Derek Jeter and A-Rod. Now the 1-2 pitch coming up. Weaver at the belt, checking Beltran, back with a fastball, foul back, and the count stays 1-2. So the Dodgers got a run in the 1st inning, scoring their 44th run in the 1st inning this year. So Torre's club has certainly got off the mark in a hurry in the right direction. However, the Mets, after leaving 1st and 3rd in the 1st inning, after leaving a runner at 3rd in the 2nd inning, finally break through as Beltran doubles home Castillo, and we have a 1-1 tie. Right now trying to pick up Beltran, 1 out. Weaver very deliberate at this juncture. Jeff leans in, hiding the ball back of his right hip, now straightens up, looks at Beltran, comes to his hitter, and it's fouled away off to the right upstairs. 1-2. Nice crowd on hand. This would certainly be the largest crowd of the series. We had 37-1 game 1. We had 37-8 last night, and this one certainly looks like more than 40. Casey Blake bobblehead night. 1-2 the count. The big man from Indianola. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way to David, and it's a breaking ball down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Martin going out to talk to Jeff. You realize how the years go by. The last time that Jeff Weaver pitched against the New York Mets would be at Shea Stadium in August of 2006. Of course, Weaver, remember, left the Dodgers in 06, went to St. Louis, then he went over to the American League to Seattle, then down to the minors, and now back up here. 2-2 the count to David Wright. Weaver not quite ready. Now straightens up, concentrating on David Wright, but fully aware of Carlos Beltran at second base. 2-2 pitch coming up. Weaver ready, over the top, and it's fouled away again. This can't compare. We were talking about it last night. The greatest single at bat we ever saw here. Alex Cora, who's on the DL with the Mets, against pitcher Matt Clement. It was an 18 pitch at bat. Cora fouled off 14 consecutive pitches and on the 18th pitch hit a home run. 2-2 pitch is off the plate, knocked down by Martin. 3-2 the count. So Weaver's trying every trick in the books. Over the top, 3/4, sidearm, fastballs, breaking balls, and Wright is still there hacking away. 3-2. David leads the Mets in a lot of areas, but also in strikeouts. He has struck out 41 times. Weaver looks at Beltran at second. Now to the plate, and it is down and away for ball 4. So Wright walks for the second time, and the batter will be Daniel Murphy.
First baseman, number 28, Daniel Murphy.
Rick Honeycutt a little restless in the Dodger dugout, watching Weaver struggle a bit. Remember, Reyes lost a hit on a big play by Hudson. Then Castillo single a left. Then Beltran double Castillo home. Now Wright walks. And here's Murphy called out on strikes in the first inning. And promptly grounds one to Furcal. He's on the bag for one and doubles him at first. 6-3 double play. The Mets get 1 run, 2 hits, leave 2, and at the end of 2.5, a 1-1 tie. Martinez takes over at shortstop for Jose Reyes. Jose was robbed of a hit by Orlando Hudson, hits the bag with his left foot, and I'm not sure if that aggravated the tendonitis, but he has come out, and so Ramon takes over as Furcal hits a fly ball to Carlos Beltran, and Beltran makes the catch, and just like that, 1 away. For Ramon Martinez, of course, to come and get a chance to play, that's quite a story. Martinez just called up from Buffalo, and he has had, and I'm sure in his own words, a really bad series. He's made a couple of errors. He went 0 for 5 in the first game. He went 0 for 4 last night, striking out 3 times and grounding into a double play. But he is forced to get back in there tonight, and his story will be an interesting part of this game, I'm sure. So 1 away, and here's Orlando Hudson, grounded out in the first inning. Orlando with a 10-game hitting streak. We have a 1-1 tie in the third, and the first pitch inside, breaking ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Waiting on deck, Andre Ethier. Hernandez into the windup. Levan's 1-0 pitch, and that's just outside. Ball 2, 2-0 the count. So the boy from Cuba, how he got here is a story right out of fiction. The 2-0 pitch on the way is swung on and whacked into right center. Ryan Church is going to have to play this thing off a wall. Orlando jogs into second with a double, and he is now hit safely in 11 in a row. So Hudson able to pull it into the gap in deep right center field for the Dodgers, their 5th hit and their first extra base hit. And the batter now will be Andre Ethier. They pitched to Ethier with runners at second and third and 1 out, and he had a long fly ball to right field to give the Dodgers their run. So Ethier at the plate. Hernandez a look back at Hudson. And the pitch to Andre, hard ground ball. Great stop by Daniel Murphy, feeding Hernandez coming over. And Hudson goes to third. So Murphy, with the ball hit to his gloved side, and that helped. He made a fine play. They're going to find out if he can play first base, and he certainly could on that play. So Ethier losing a base hit. On the play, Hudson goes to third. And the batter will be Russell Martin. Martin flied to right field in the first inning, 0 for 1. 1-1, bottom of the third. We mentioned it earlier. There's so many wonderful individual stories on the Dodgers this year. So many great accomplishments. You almost forget what they've done to the National League West. They are 7.5 in front of the Giants. They are 10.5 in front of San Diego. They are 11.5 in front of Colorado and Arizona. The 1-0 pitch lifted to left center, very playable. Pagan says this time we will just let play go to Beltran after they messed it up the other night. So no runs ahead, a man left at third, and at the end of 3, a 1-1 tie. The Nissan National Tent event for great deals on reliable vehicles. Look closer. Nissan delivers. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares with no hidden fees. Book now at southwest.com, where what you see is what you pay. Beautiful evening here at Dodger Stadium. We have a 1-1 tie as we go to the 4th inning. Well, the guest stood up pretty well. That Jose Reyes injured his leg and had to come out and give way to Ramon Martinez. It'll be Ryan Church, followed by Ramon Castro, and then Angel Pagan. Church doubled, and the Mets left him at third. That was in the 2nd inning. 4-1. Mets have lost 3 in a row. They lost the final game in San Francisco and the first 2 here. Ground ball. Loney can't get it. Hudson can. Gives it to Weaver. Nice play. A veteran pitcher not taking anything for granted, and Weaver was there. Well, let's put our thinking caps on. It's time for our Aflac trivia question. Casey Blake will turn 36 in August. Who are the only L.A. Dodgers over 36 to lead the team in home runs? Remember, he has 9. We'll give you the answer in a little while. Nice heads-up play on that ground ball, 1 away. And here is Ramon Castro. Ball 1. Castro did not play last night. Santos did. In game 1, he went 0 for 5. Again, the Mets are really challenged by injuries. They lost Alex Cora on the DL with a bad right thumb. Jose Reyes missed a few. Now he's got the bad leg and he's out. And of course, Carlos Delgado had hip surgery. That's a strike, 2-1. All of that happening to the Mets. And this is their 40th game. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ramon Castro. All the way. 2-2. Don't forget, tomorrow an off day, and then the Dodgers gear it up for 17 straight. And the first 3 with the Angels. Jared Weaver, Jeff's younger brother, he'll be on the mound tomorrow night against Clayton Kershaw, who's sitting alongside of Randy Wolf, who will be pitching Saturday night against John Lackey. Little roller, charging for call. Plenty of time to get Castro. 2 down. All uphill for a catcher going from home to first. So 2 down, and Angel Pagan coming up. Pagan grounded out in the 2nd inning. That's when Ryan Church led off with a double, and they failed to get him home. They left Beltran at 3rd in the 1st inning, and they left Beltran at 2nd in the 3rd inning. That's a strike. 0-1. Angel Pagan from Puerto Rico, and lifts one back to second base. It'll be for call. So an easy inning for Jeff Weaver. 1-2-3, and as he walks off at the end of 3.5 innings, a 1-1 tie. Who are the only L.A. Dodgers over 36 to lead the team in home runs. After all, Casey has 9. And the answer, Jeff Kent, 2005, 2007, Frank Robinson in 1972. In fact, Frank was 37 years, 34 days old when that season ended. Kent was 37 in 2005, and Kent was 39 in 2007. So Casey hopefully will just keep on rolling. And tonight honored with the bobblehead. Bottom of the fourth inning in a 1-1 tie. James Loney to start it off. And a strike. Loney singled in the second inning, got a changeup like a letter from home, and singled up the middle. One ball and one strike. Livan Hernandez, growing up in Cuba, and the government, of course, running the tight little island. He was 9 years old when they identified him as a baseball prospect, and he was sent to a sports program that was run by the government. By the time he was 13, they sent him to a boarding school for budding sports stars. So they start them early over there under the thumb. 1995 is when he skipped from Cuba. Hard ground ball, backhanded by Murphy, has to hang it for Livan. So for young Daniel Murphy, the word is he's going to play first base and see if he can handle it, and he has handled it so far tonight. That's always a tough play, having to overhand it to his pitcher. Threw a little behind Hernandez instead of leading him, but it was still a good play. He also made a fine play, remember, on that ball hit by Ethier. So one away in the fourth inning. And Xavier Paul, who flied to left field in the second, checks in. Paul hitting .250. One ball and no strikes. We won't see him here at Dodger Stadium again, and I alluded to the story about Livan Hernandez. It's right out of a fiction. 1995, the Cuban team was training in Monterrey, Mexico, and he was there with them. And a woman came over, opened up a book, and in the center of the book was a picture of a man who was called El Gordo, the fat man. Well, Livan froze when he saw the picture. He had seen El Gordo several times in Japan, Venezuela, the U.S., wherever the Cubans played. And all the time the fat man was lurking in the shadows. Another foul ball. Well, in out-of-the-way hotels you would see him, back rooms of restaurants. Livan would look up, whoops, there's the fat man. And the woman slipped a piece of paper into Hernandez's hand. There was a telephone number written on it, and all she said was, call him. One and two the count to Xavier Paul. Got him. Inside corner, and down goes Paul. So two out in the fourth inning. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So Livan Hernandez went to a hotel. The phone rang, and Livan was told by the fat man, come pick me up. So they went to a restaurant, and to make a long story short, the fat man smuggled him out of Mexico, and eventually he's in the big leagues. Some story. Livan Hernandez, who retires Blake, and at the end of four, a 1-1 tie. Cast with former Fox baseball anchor Jeannie Jalasco handling the play-by-play duties alongside former Dodger Mark Sweeney. Mark will be her analyst. Dodgers WIN, that stands for Women's Initiative Network. It's a network of initiatives to bring women closer to the game and to bring the game closer to their lifestyles. Program created by Dodger Chief Executive Officer Jamie McCourt, a fundamental component of the Dodgers' active participation in the community. So, welcome to Jeannie and to Mark. And we go to the fifth, 1-1. Livan Hernandez hit back to the box in the second inning. Big high bouncer. And Weaver big enough to reach up at 6'5" to take a possible base hit away from him. 0-2 to Hernandez. Side armor and a little pop fly. Loney comes down. He has the better angle. Livan Hernandez, I'm sure he didn't mean it, but he dropped the bat in a rather dangerous area. In other words, when he hit the ball, instead of dropping the bat around home plate, he carried it a good 45 feet and then dropped it. So it was almost equidistant between Martin and Loney. See him carrying the bat. Now he drops it. That is a dangerous thing to do. I'm sure he wasn't thinking about it on a foul ball, but he did it. One away. And here's Ramon Martinez, a chopper for call who guns it over. 2 down. So for poor Ramon Martinez, and really your heart goes out to him. 0 for 1 tonight. That makes him 0 for 5 and 0 for 10 since coming up from Buffalo. And of course, a very soft-spoken, popular guy when he was with the Dodgers, trying to make it back. 2 down. Luis Castillo lined out to short, single to left, scored the Mets run. And ball 1. Tries to bunt, leaves it in Martin's mitt. 1-1 to count. Castillo has had the reputation for a long time that he is a marvelous bunter. Yet in this series, he was asked to sacrifice and couldn't do it, and it turned out to be a pretty big play. 1-1. Ball 2, 2-1. Castillo did not play last night, and the night before went 0 for 5. In that 11-inning game, he was asked to bunt in the 8th inning and popped the bunt up. That's a strike. 2-2. So Jeff Weaver plugged in here and doing very well. 1-1 in the 5th inning. Made 60 pitches in the first 4 innings. Breaking ball, little pop fly for call, angling over. That'll be that. 7 in a row retired by Jeff Weaver since the double play by Daniel Murphy, and it's still 1-1.
27, Matt Kemp.
Randy Wolf is coming up to bat now for Jeff Weaver.
Correction, batting number 21, Randy Wolf.
So Randy Wolf will hit. Smiles in the Dodger dugout. Eric introduced Matt Kemp instead of Randy. Ramon Troncoso is throwing in the pen. For Jeff Weaver, he made 69 pitches, and in each of the last 2 innings, he made only 9 pitches. Ramon Troncoso loosening up in the background, and Randy swings, doesn't get it, and we're underway. 0-1. Wolf, not a bad hitter, so that's why they use him now. He has 2 hits in 19 at-bats, 1 double, 3 runs batted in, and he has only struck out 4 times. So being a contact hitter, that's a good one, but there's Daniel Murphy on the end of that ground ball, and just like that, 1 away. For the Dodgers, enjoying the month of May. You know, they're 13-5 in the merry month, and this is what they have left. 3 more with the Angels, then they hit the road, Colorado and Chicago, and then when they run out of May, they come home to play Arizona, Philadelphia, and San Diego at Dodger Stadium. 16-3 at home and 13-5 in the month of May. Here's Pierre. Single, scored a run, hit into a force play. Ball 1. So Jeff Weaver did a great job going 5 innings in a 1-1 tie. 2-0 the count. Ramon Troncoso in the extra inning game made 19 pitches. Then he rested yesterday, and he'll be brought in tonight. David Wright shortens up, looking bunt. 2-1 the count. Hard one foul. Boy, that turned Mariano Duncan. 2-2 the count. That's the thing I've always worried about. They went halfway. Yeah, they made the coaches wear helmets, but he should really have an ear flap covering the left ear. Boa should have an ear flap covering the right, but they didn't do that. So the only way they're going to be protected is if a ball comes down out of the heavens and hits them right on top of their head. 2-2. Line drive right by the glove of Hernandez. So Juan Pierre just continues to amaze. I mean, he's hitting over 400. He was hitting 429 in the 12 previous games, and just like that, he's 2 for 3 tonight. And I mean, hitting them hard. Hernandez might make that play once in a while because he's a very good defensive pitcher. Now he has to worry about Pierre while working on Furcal. And remember, Rafael has 4 home runs against Hernandez in the past. Pierre has stolen 7 out of 10. Rafael hitting .242. Boy, this is a battle within the war. A marvelous base stealer, a veteran pitcher, each trying to outguess the other. Pierre, over there at first, was with the Marlins in 03, 04, and 05. By that time, Hernandez had left the Marlins and gone to the Giants and then moved on to the Expos. Pierre has always been a very successful base stealer. Stole 65 for the Marlins. Stole 64 for the Dodgers 2 years ago. 1 ball and no strikes. On deck, Orlando Hudson. So for call, checking with Boa, who has checked with Torrey. Dodgers won, Mets won. Dodgers scored in the first, Mets scored in the third. Pitch out, but Pierre's not going. 2-0 the count. For Castro and for Jerry Manuel, they had the luxury of pitching out because up to now Hernandez has not walked anybody. Two and 0 to Furcal. Fastball and great catch. Daniel Murphy has found a home. Oh, has he playing a dazzling first base. They want to know if he can do it. The answer is he can do it. And it's a 1-1 tie. Details in it, but down at the very bottom it'll give you time of game, and in this day and age time of game usually runs 3 hours, 3:10, something in that area. Hard to believe, but in 1972 on this day the Dodgers played the Houston Astros. The Dodgers beat the Astros 3-0. The pitchers were left-hander Al Downing for the Dodgers and Dave Roberts for Houston. Time of game 1 hour and 30 minutes. Half a game today. Let's go back to this one. Sixth inning in a 1-1 tie. It's taken us about an hour and a half to get here right now. And in the sixth, Carlos Beltran will be facing Ramon Troncoso. Ball one. As we mentioned, Troncoso pitched the other night. Made 19 pitches. That was the 11-inning game the Dodgers won in the bottom of the 11th on the throwing era. Ball two, 2-0. Ramon from the Dominican, 6'2", 200-pounder. 26 years old. Beltran up there. 2 doubles and a steal of third. Ball three. 2 doubles and a run batted in. A marvelous all-around ball player, hitting .373, 6 home runs, 29 runs batted in. American League Rookie of the Year 10 years ago. 3-1. I love the story they tell about Beltran. That's just right. He and his wife bought a home, fully decorated it. They had a housewarming party, and they gave the keys to the house to Carlos's mom and dad. It was their house, their furnishing. As you can understand, they really broke down. Little ground foul. You can just imagine the big party, and then Beltran suddenly saying, by the way, this house is not for us. It's for you, Mom. For you, Dad. Wow. 3-2. Fastball roll to Orlando. Troncoso has a dandy sinker. And when he is on his game, you'll see a lot of worm killers. And Beltran grounds out, one away. David Wright walked twice. He walked twice last night, and he walked twice in the game before. So the Dodgers have found a way to shut him down, walking. He's had 6 base on balls in the 3 games. Wright hitting .361, 3 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Sinker, and it's grounded up the middle. So that breaks a little string, 8 in a row. And the batter now is Daniel Murphy. And Murphy has been magnificent at first base. First of all, he has to feed his pitcher coming over, and he does that well. Then he has to backhand and make a sprawling throw, and again gets it to Hernandez. Then up the ladder to take a line drive and turn it into a double play off the batter Rafael for a call. So they said, we're going to find out if he can play first base. Well, he has done a heck of a job tonight. Ball 1. With the bat, however, it's another story. He struck out in the first inning, grounded into a double play in the 3rd. David Wright over there at first has stolen 10, but he's been caught 7. He has a short lead. Fouled away, 1-1 to count. So Murphy makes it to the big leagues in 3 years. Interesting how some get here so quickly and others labor for 8-9 years before even getting a look. One ball and 1 strike. Murphy 6'1", 210, 24 years old. Right at first, 1 out. 1-2. Interesting, when Daniel Murphy was playing at Jacksonville, the father of one of his teammates came to watch the game, and he wasn't sure anything about the father. It turned out to be the Mets vice president, Tony Bernazard, who came to watch his son Anthony, and instead found Daniel Murphy. He's great with the glove, and tonight he goes 0 for 3 with the bat. 2 strikeouts, grounding into a double play.
Right fielder,
Ryan Church coming up. First it's up there, then it's down there, and Murphy comes up empty. So Troncoso now working on Ryan Church. We're in the 6th. 2 out, 1-1 tie. Fastball strike. Church doubled to right, but they left him at third. Then lost a hit on a fine play. Orlando Hudson to Jeff Weaver covering in the fourth inning. Wright with 2 out might be a threat to go. If you're Jerry Manuel, you're thinking, well, would I rather keep Loney on the bag and open up the right side of the infield, or should I run Wright? Well, Wright's been caught 7 times. Church is hitting .279. So we'll find out in a minute. 0-2. The Mets are certainly going to miss Carlos Delgado. Delgado was hitting .298. He had 4 home runs, 23 runs batted in. He had 7 doubles and a triple. And now he has had hip surgery and he's lost for several months. 0-2. Outfield deep on Ryan Church. Xavier Paul shading just a little towards left center, but they're all pretty well back. 0-2. In the dirt, gets away from Martin and down to second goes Wright. Martin, let's see if he got something in his eye. No, he's all right, I guess. Boy, he has really been beaten up. It'll be a wild pitch. Let's see where it bounces. Yeah, right up under the mask. I think that was it. It hit him in the throat. Wow. All part of a day's work, but he's not ready, so he's going to go out to the mound. The plate umpire, Jerry Meals, will clean off the plate. Wow. Can hardly swallow or breathe. Take a look at the mask that Russell is wearing. You see there's a metal hang that comes down, but not the big flap. So occasionally a ball will bounce up underneath that, and that's what happened. 1-2 the count to Ryan Church. Little ground ball to Orlando. The Mets are now 3 for 23 with runners in scoring position. That's about a batting average of 130, and we're still tied 1-1. Pick. Then he had a turn, and remember Reyes left-handed and going down the line re-aggravated the tendonitis in his leg, so Reyes had to leave the game, and Hudson took a base hit away from him. If you are Jerry Manuel, the manager of the New York Mets, you really got to be talking to yourself. The Mets, with runners in scoring position in the series, 3 for 23. That's a 130 batting average. And remember, one of the 3 hits came from a pitcher, John Mayne, who singled up the middle to drive in 2 runs. So his team has just been thoroughly stopped by Dodger pitching. And we go to the bottom of the 6th in a 1-1 tie. Here's Hudson to start it off. Big breaking ball, ball 1. Orlando grounded sharply to Daniel Murphy in the first inning and then doubled in the 3rd. So he is hit safely in 11 straight. Off speed, pop foul. David Wright coming over, no play. Hits the roof and Kangaroos way back. 1-1 the count. A bunt, foul. 1-2. Hudson batting .343, has 3 home runs, 27 runs batted in. When you hit in the number 3 slot, you are a terrific hitter, and that's what Hudson is, hitting in the number 3 slot for the Mets. Carlos Beltran. Foul ball, still 1-2. 1 run, 5 hits for the Mets. 1 run, 6 hits for the Dodgers. Mets had scoring opportunities in the first inning, in the second inning, in the third inning where they could have scored more than 1. And they had an opportunity in the 6th. The Dodgers had a chance to score more than 1 in the first inning, but they settled for 1. Lost a chance in the second, left a runner at third in the third. So Weaver and now Troncoso and Hernandez really locked in. Off speed, fouled away. Two balls and 2 strikes. Hernandez due to bat third when the Mets come up in the 7th inning. Little foul ball, and here comes David Wright to make the play. David Wright wearing number 5 over there on his Mets uniform. Brooks Robinson wore number 5. George Brett wore number 5. And in the Mets history book, on a championship club of many years ago, Ed Charles also wore that number. 5. Here's Ethier scoring fly ball and robbed of a hit by Daniel Murphy. This time a roller to Castillo. So he's 0 for 2. And the batter will be Russell Martin. Fly to right, fly to center.
Russell Martin.
Livan Hernandez, he is really something to watch. A lot of fellas seem to be working so very, very hard, and Hernandez looks like he's just playing catcher, just back and forth. The hitter just happens to get in the way. Right. We mentioned earlier in Cuba, he made as many as 175 pitches many times. Made 143 in 6 1/3 innings pitching for Montreal. How about that big curveball? 63 miles an hour. He didn't miss a chew on his gum. 0-2. Fastball lifted to right field. Very playable. All in a day's work for Livan Hernandez, who has made at least 130 pitches 36 times and at least 153 times. And it's 1-1. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Seventh inning, a 1-1 tie. Ramon Castro, Angel Pagan, and then Livan Hernandez. Strike. You know, a moment ago we were talking about Hernandez and all the pitches he has made in a game. He might be interested in the pitches he'd made in the last 4 innings. Foul ball. In the third inning, Hernandez made 7 pitches. In the fourth inning, he made 10. In the fifth inning, he made 11. And in the sixth inning, he made 11. He's made 75 pitches in 6 innings. He is really amazing. Curveball lifted. Late start by Xavier Paul, but bailing him out is Andre Ethier. Paul started back on it. 1 away. 1 run, 5 hits for the Mets. 1 run, 6 hits for the Dodgers. Here's Pagan, grounded out, popped up, 0 for 2. He is a natural right-hand hitter. Ball 1. And it was a little interesting because from what I had read up about him, he was a natural right-hand hitter and just a slap hitter batting left-handed. And yet last night when he came up to pinch hit, they turned him around to bat right-handed. And what happened? He struck out. 1-1. So maybe a little information is indeed a dangerous thing. 1-1 to Angel Pagan. Two and 1. Ramon Troncoso picking up from Jeff Weaver, who allowed just 1 run and 4 hits, went 5 innings and made 69 pitches. 2-1. Good fastball. 2-2. Troncoso, nice and easy, hits 93 on the gun with that fastball. 2-2 the count. Breaking ball, but it's going to cost him. So 2 out here in the 7th inning, and Livan Hernandez coming up. You know, friends, you can become an online fan of your favorite team. Connect with Dodger fans around the world on the Dodgers official Facebook page. Facebook fans of the Dodgers receive special ticket offers, exclusive photos. They can share comments, photos, and videos with the world of Dodger Town. To become a fan, visit facebook.com/Dodgers. Little ground ball into right field. So Livan Hernandez at one time had 8 consecutive hits. I mean, he is quite an all-around player. It was back in August of 2001. He hit safely in 8 straight at-bats. The streak broke when he reached base on an error. He fell too shy of the National League record then. At one stage, Livan had hits in 12 of 13 at-bats. So with 2 out, he singles to right. And here's Ramon Martinez. Boy, that jackknife Martin trying to stay with it. Russell hurt his hip a little bit. He took one in the neck a little earlier. Watch him go up and jackknife and keep the ball in front. He has really put in some tough innings. 1 ball and no strikes. That's a strike. Martinez about ready to put an ad in the paper to get a base hit. 0 for 10 in the series since being just called up from Buffalo. Ground ball. The play has to go to first. That'll be that. No runs a hit, a man left. And at the end of 6.5, it remains a 1-1 tie. Crowd will now stand for God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the singing of God Bless America. Tonight we welcome a 19-year-old sophomore from the Berklee School of Music in Boston. A lifelong Dodgers fan, please welcome Joelle James. Accompanying Joelle is Nancy B. on the Dodger organ.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the California Lottery 7th inning stretch. One lucky row of fans will receive Super Lotto Plus vouchers, good for a Super Lotto Plus ticket. Please join Nancy B. at the 8 p.m.
Dodger Baseball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by 76, where 4 fill-ups scores you We still have a 1-1 tie. It's been that way since the third inning. And this is one of the tougher ball games, the push and shove of baseball, with the Dodgers Weaver and Troncoso, and Livan Hernandez pitching brilliantly. 75 pitches in 6 innings. And one reason he's breezed pretty well, he's gone to only one 3-ball count. Struggled a little bit in the first inning, and he's certainly been at home since the third. Now it'll be Loney, Paul, and Blake to test him again. And a strike. Loney got a change-up and single to center, and then last time up, grounded to Daniel Murphy, who threw him out to Hernandez. 0-1. Popped up. Foul ground. David Wright might have a play. It's coming back to him. Yep. So Loney fouls out. He goes 1 for 3. And the batter will be Xavier Paul. Here's Xavier Paul, who has flied to left and struck out. Little interesting note, trying to x-ray Livan Hernandez and what's been going on tonight. Paul 0 for 2. That brings it up. He has pitched 6 innings of 6-hit ball. That's only the 4th swinging strike that he's had all night. Just then. Because he doesn't throw that hard. And that's a fly ball to left field. Angel Pagan. 2 down. You know, a reminder. Get everything you want on your next trip to Dodger Town. 3 tickets, Dodger dogs, sodas, t-shirts, hats, a beach bag full of souvenirs, peanuts, and parking. All starting at $99. Visit Dodgers.com/specials or call 866-DODGERS. Get more thanks to the Dodgers and JetBlue. Well, here is Casey Blake, honored with the bobblehead. Had the big 3-run home run last night. Ball 1. One in the 7th. Matt Kemp comes out on deck. That's a strike. 1-1. Randy Wolf had batted for Weaver. Now Kemp on line to bat for Troncoso. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Ronald Belisario, who made only 5 pitches coming in last night. He faced Gary Sheffield and got him on a little ground ball. Ball 3. So this is the rare 3-ball count for Hernandez after getting Loney and Paul quickly. Three and 1. That's a strike. Is he still chewing gum? Yep. A lot better than chewing tobacco, that's for sure. Just off the plate. So there it is. His first base on balls, and it comes with 2 out in the 7th inning. Down in the Mets bullpen, right-hander Bobby Parnell loosening up. Parnell worked 1 inning in the extra inning game and retired the side in the 7th inning. So Parnell getting ready, and here is Matt Kemp to check in against Livan Hernandez. Kemp has only had 1 at-bat in the past against Hernandez, and he struck out. Blake at first does not have a stolen base. He hadn't been involved in one. That's a strike. 0-1. For Matt Kemp, this would be his first appearance as a pinch hitter. On deck, Juan Pierre. 1-1 tie, 2 out, 7th inning. That's a strike. He just seems to sneak that thing in there at 84 miles an hour. Blake held on by Murphy. When the Mets come up in the 8th inning, it's Castillo, Beltran, and Wright. Oh, 0-2 to Kemp. Little ground ball. Wright goes in front, tries to get it to second, too late. Ramon Martinez might have made an easier play because he would have been in position to throw. Wright was not. And that's why when he does come up with it, all he can do is push the ball, and it's too late. So Kemp reaches on an infield single, and now Juan Pierre coming up. You know, we've been talking throughout this series the inability of each team to do anything with a runner in scoring position, and believe it or not, we pointed out how poorly the Mets have been. The Dodgers have been worse, and they've won the first 2 games. The Dodgers are 3 for 27 with runners in scoring position. That's a 1-1-1 batting average. Of course, one of them was that big 3-run home run by Casey Blake. But the Dodgers also needed 5 Mets errors in that game night before. A strike to Pierre. Infield single in front of the plate, hit into a force play, and single to center. So Casey Blake at second, Matt Kemp at first, 2 out in a 1-1 tie. 1-1. Levon has made 15 pitches in this inning. It's the first time he's gone that high since the 2nd inning, and as you see, he has now reached 90 pitches. 1-1. Ball 2. Walked his only man with 2 out here in the 7th when he walked Casey Blake. Then he got a tough break on the ball hit by Kemp, and now behind 2-1 to Juan Pierre. 1 run, 6 hits for the Mets. 1 run, 7 hits for the Dodgers. That's a strike. So the deuces go wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. 1-1 tie. Outfield interesting, shaded to left, split in right center, but everybody's moved over. All of straightaway right, wide open. Well, Levon is at it again. Got the ball up to strike him out. By the way, in strikeouts, you can count them on one hand. And at the end of 7, a 1-1 tie. 4 Phillips scores you 2 free Dodger tickets. Complete rules available at participating 76 stations. As we go to the 8th inning, Matt Kemp, who batted for Ramon Troncoso, stays in the game in center field and bats 9th. And Ronald Belisario will go into Xavier Paul's spot in the lineup and bat 7th. 1-1 in the 8th. It's really been a thrill and education to watch Livan Hernandez, an artist at work. I mean, he has really been amazing. The 2 strikeouts, 1 walk in a 1-1 tie. Strike. Castillo lined out to short, single to left, scored a run, and popped up. 1 ball and 1 strike. We mentioned earlier Belisario came in last night only to face Gary Sheffield with 2 on and 2 out. Made 5 pitches, got Gary to ground out, and that was that. Ball 2. Castillo batting .279. And ball 3. Castillo is another good base runner. So Belisario has to be careful. Castillo has stolen 6 out of 7, but of course he's capable of doing a lot more than that. And he's aboard. Now you're talking to a guy who can run as many as 50 stolen bases a few years ago. And now coming up, Carlos Beltran, who has the honor of driving in the only run for the Mets. He whacked one by Loney down into the corner. Castillo scored easily, but they left Beltran at second base. So now Belisario has a very good hitter at the plate and a very heady base runner at first. And ball 1. Brent Leach, the young left-hander, gets up in the Dodger bullpen. He hasn't thrown yet, but he's about to. There he is. Castillo over there in his salad days with the Marlins stole as many as 62 bases. Last year in 87 games he stole 17. 1 ball and no strikes to Beltran. And ball 2. Now let's see. Honeycutt might have spotted something. The old story with a hitter like Beltran, who is a switch hitter, what you do, you have a premier hitter in Beltran and you have a premier base runner. Would you rather keep Loney on the bag and open up the hole on the right side, or do you want to run Castillo, who has been so successful down through the years? So a big meeting and a big decision for Jerry Manuel. 1 run, 7 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 6 hits for the Mets. So for Belisario, a rookie pitcher who had to wear the pink backpack with the big butterfly wings on it. We showed that the other night. A tradition of the rookie pitcher in the bullpen, carrying stuff like gum, sunflower seeds, etc. Last night he faces Sheffield. Now he faces Beltran. And 3-0 the count. That's Brent Leach. He also wore the bat cap, so both of them look like they're ready to fly away as they go to the bullpen. Pierre congratulating both of them for being good sports. And there's ball 4. So now Belisario is in a mess. He walks 2 with nobody out, and David Wright coming up. We told you the Dodgers have walked right 6 times in the 3 games. They pitched to him in the 6th inning and he singled. So David hitting .365. 3 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Last night he was 1 for 2. Tonight he is 1 for 1. The other night he was 2 for 3. And the one time they got him in game 1, Juan Pierre made a dazzling running catch to take a double away from him. So he would appear to be Mr. Right for the Mets in more ways than one. 2 on, nobody out. 1-1 in the 8th. And a high fly ball. It's playable. Watching Kemp come over with Ethier. The runners tag. Both runners try to advance, and they each move up. So a long drive to right center, sending Castillo to third. Beltran goes to second, and Wright moves him up for Daniel Murphy. Of course, Daniel Murphy is no Wright, and he is certainly no Beltran. And tonight, Murphy has struck out twice and hit into a double play. And look at that. With runners in scoring position, each team 0 for 7. Dodger infield has to play up. Hitting back of Murphy is another left-hand hitter, Ryan Church. And now, let's see. Joe Torre has Brent Leach, the left-hander, in the pen. Leach, who bounces that rosin bag, that's certainly a trademark for him. Wearing Johnny Padra's old number 45. Coming in from the pen, and we'll be back. Gave up a walk and a pop fly single when Orlando Hudson hurt his shoulder. Then the Mets counted, sending up Gary Sheffield. The Dodgers took Leach out, brought in Belisario, who took care of Gary Sheffield. Well, tonight, Belisario starts, gets in trouble, and they now bring in Leach to go head-to-head with Daniel Murphy or a pinch hitter. For Leach, in his 7th game, he has a very high earned run average, over 7. Walked 2, struck out 5. And warming up back of him in the pen is Guillermo Mota. So Brent Leach, out of Mississippi, went to Delta State in Mississippi. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. The Dodger infield has to play up. And the batter is Daniel Murphy. 2 strikeouts and hit into a double play. Luis Castillo down the line from 3rd. Carlos Beltran at 2nd, and 1 out. Murphy hitting .265. Struck out looking and swinging. They take a shot. 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and no strikes. Watching Castillo carefully in the event they try to squeeze. Big curveball. You see Murphy flinch, and it dropped in for a strike. 1-1. Whoop. And it cost him. Leach is 26, Murphy 24. Martin saying, let's go through the signs again. 1-1. And Leach is insured. When you're playing sandlot ball, you think it's so easy. You know, 1 for a fastball, 2 for a curve, and whatever else you might have. But in the big leagues, when they have signs, it can become very, very complicated. They can even work off the count on the scoreboard. I mean, you could spend in a meeting with a professional pitching coach, you probably talk for 20 minutes on the different signs. It is not easy. And a bouncer, fair ball on the bag is Loney. So Murphy isn't equal to the challenge. 2 down, runners holding, and Ryan Church may be called back. He's going back towards the dugout. Jerry Manuel turning and apparently will come up with a right-hand batter. So it's another feeble attempt by each team with a runner in scoring position. I mean, they just can't buy a hit, neither team. They were each 0 for 7. Now the Mets are 0 for 8. So Murphy, a picture of dejection, and let's see who's going to come up and bat for Ryan Church. The veteran 34-year-old Fernando Tatis. And maybe you don't remember that name, but it reverberates here at Dodger Stadium. That memorable night against Chan Ho Park. Tatis was a third baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals, and he did the unbelievable. He not only hit 2 grand slam home runs, he hit them in the same inning. And that sounds like a tricky question, like it couldn't possibly happen. But it did. April the 23rd, 1999. That was a year that Tatis hit 34 home runs, but he's never had anything close to that year again. In fact, the pressure got so high and hot on Tatis, he quit for 2 years. He said, I can't stand what they want. I don't have it. And then in order to make money to help build a church in the Dominican, he came back to play baseball. He was 0 for 4 in the first game with runners in scoring position. That's a strike. 0-1. Fernando from San Pedro de Macorís and originally signed by the Rangers. Castillo's at third. Beltran is at second. 2 out. 1-1 in the 8th. Fastball, 1-1. Tatis hitting .286. Didn't offer. Ball 2. 2-1. Tatis up there at home plate with Castillo at third, Beltran at second, and 2 out. Fernando's a chip off the old block. His father was a minor league third baseman in the Houston system. Fastball. When Tatis was a kid growing up in the Dominican, his favorite organization was the Dodgers, and he said, I wanted to play for them badly, but the Rangers got him. So the deuces are really wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on at second and third in a 1-1 tie. 50,761 sweating this out right now. Little chopper to Furcal. And the Mets blow another opportunity. And they leave runners at second and third. And at the end of 7.5 innings, a 1-1 tie. Next to him. Look at the runners in scoring position for the New York Mets. Monday, 1. Tuesday, 2. Tonight, 0. Add that all up, and that's enough to give any manager a headache. So the Mets, with first and second, nobody out. Second and third with 1 out. And Murphy and Tatis hit ground balls, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. J.J. Putz now comes in, picking up for Livan Hernandez, who turned in a magnificent 7 innings while making 93 pitches. And, of course, the ball game now rests on the shoulders of Putz and Leach. Dodgers must feel like they just got out of a cage. And here's Furcal, ball 1. Putz did not play in last night's game. He made 16 pitches working the 8th inning of the first game. Two and 0 the count. Putz is from Trenton, Michigan, out of the University of Michigan. 6'5", 250, 32 years old. Originally signed with Seattle. That's a strike. He saved 40 games 2 years ago for the Mariners, 36 the year before that. Last year 15. Now pretty much of a setup man for Frankie Rodriguez. 2-1. Greg bunt foul back. He wanted to bring that with him. 2-2. And Rafael mad at himself. I think he felt he should have been able to get that bunt down. For call, single to right in the first inning, fly to center, lined into a double play, a leaping catch by Daniel Murphy. Two and two. Got it. So for call strikes out, 1 out in the 8th inning.
Dodgers second baseman, number 13, Orlando Hudson.
1 run, 6 hits for the Mets. 1 run, 7 hits for the Dodgers. Orlando Hudson grounded to first, doubled and fouled out. He has hit in 11 straight. And ball 1. On deck, Andre Ethier. And a strike, 1-1. Jeremy Reed is now in left field for New York. Angel Pagan has moved over to right field. Ryan Church, remember, went out for Fernando Tatis. 1-1. J.J. Putz, his true name, his full name, is Joseph Jeffrey Putz. Fouled away. 2-2. Big crowd, and they are very much into it. Of course, it's been that kind of a game. Has kind of a Friday night feel. 50,761. 2-2. And ball 3. Dodgers scored way back in the first inning. Andre Ethier's scoring fly ball picked up Juan Pierre from third. The Mets scored their run on a single by Castillo and a double by Beltran in the third inning, and that's it. Three and 2. And line to right field. So Orlando comes up with his second hit. He's 2 for 4, and that'll bring up Andre Ethier. So the Dodgers now with 8 hits. They had 1 run and 7 hits against Livan Hernandez. Ethier had the scoring fly ball. Lost a base hit on a fine play by Daniel Murphy and grounded out. Andre hitting .253, 6 home runs, 30 runs batted in. Putz obviously fighting his control a little bit. He has walked 10, struck out 15. He is in his 22nd game. That's tops on the team. off day. And remember, the Angels will be here. Mike Scioscia and company starting Friday night. And a reminder, Jared Weaver and Clayton Kershaw Friday. John Lackey and Randy Wolf Saturday. Matt Palmer and Chad Billingsley on Sunday as Kershaw and Wolf exchange pleasantries. And that's ball 2 to Andre Ethier. Putz has been pitching in the big league since 2003. Spent a little time. He had a ticket to Tacoma a couple of years. Putz's wife was a 2-time All-American softball player. She was a second baseman at Michigan. Two and 0. Back 2-1. Almost caught Orlando leaning the wrong way. Down in the bullpen for the Mets, they have the left-hander Pedro Feliciano and the right-hander up for the second time, Bobby Parnell. We saw both of them in game 1 that went 11 innings. 2-1. Orlando Hudson is 4 for 4 in stolen bases. And ball 3. So Putz gave up the single to Hudson with 1 out. Now goes 3-1 to Andre Ethier. And on deck, Russell Martin. We'll watch Hudson 3-1. He's not going on ball 4. So the Mets had yet another golden opportunity in the 8th inning and let that get away. And now the Dodgers come back with a golden chance here in the 8th inning. 2 on, 1 out, and Russell Martin coming up. And a meeting at the mound. Danny Warthen is going to go out. Danny, of course, was the Dodgers bullpen coach for a couple of years, and it's good to see him. He was here in 2006 and 2007. So another chance, another runner in scoring position. Orlando Hudson looking for a ride home. The Dodgers, as we mentioned earlier, have been even worse than the Mets with runners in scoring position in the series. Torrey has watched them bat 111. So 2 on, 1 out, and here is Martin. And ball 1. Martin faced Putz in the 11-inning game. Hit a ground ball to Ramon Martinez, who kicked it for an error. We mentioned earlier the Mets have a tough travel schedule. The Dodgers go home, get a good night's sleep, and take tomorrow off. The Mets are off, but they're going to spend all night. They're due to arrive in Boston at 8:30 in the morning. Hard ground ball, base hit. Up with it is Jeremy Reed. Here comes Hudson. It's cut off by Wright. They get the out at third, but the run is in. And the Dodgers finally get a base hit with a runner in scoring position. So Martin singles home Hudson, takes second on the throw to the plate, and Andre Ethier is cut down at third. So Orlando brings the go-ahead run home, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. Ramon Martinez able to make the tag, but the run long in. Orlando was really burning. So the batter now is Loney, and they'll walk him intentionally, and Mark Loretta is now going to come in, and he would bat for Leach. So in a moment, 2 on. Loretta will be coming up in the Dodger bullpen now that they're out in front. Jonathan Broxton begins to tune up. Broxton worked last night, made only 10 pitches. So 2 on, 2 out. 8th inning, 2-1 Dodgers. Mark Loretta was in the on-deck circle. He's gone back to the dugout. And he is waiting to see whether Jerry Manuel is going to make a move. Joe Torre had left the dugout for the moment. It's all right, he said. So Loretta goes up the steps. So Mark Loretta will check in against Putz, with the Dodgers leading 2-1. Dodgers in 1-run games are a perfect 5-0 at home, and they've won 7 of 10. The Mets in 1-run games are 1 game under 500. This will be their 16th 1-run game, and they're 7-8. So here's Loretta. Remarkable pinch hitter thus far, 8 for 16 this year. Martin at second, Loney at first, 2 out, and a strike. When the Mets come up in the 9th inning, they are due to send up Ramon Castro, Angel Pagan, and the pitcher Putz. They've already used Tatis. They lost Reyes. So things are on the thin side for Jerry Manuel. 1-1. Available for Manuel would be the backup catcher, Omir Santos. Jeremy Reed is already in the game, so the only other player, and it figures we're going to see him for sure, it would be Gary Sheffield. So don't go wandering off. Gary figures to get a call. 1-1 to Loretta. Casey Blake hits back a mark. 2 out. Hit foul down the line. 1-2 the count to Mark Loretta. Local boy born in Santa Monica. Went to school at Northwestern, originally drafted by the Brewers. He's had a wonderful big league career. He came up pretty much to stay in 1995. One and 2 to Mark. Fouled away. Still up there. Mark Loretta has a business degree from Northwestern, so he is well prepared. when he finally calls it a career. He'll be 38 in August. And he has Martin at second, Loney at first, 2 out, 1 in, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. Got him. Great pitch on the inside corner to freeze him, but the Dodgers finally get a hit with a runner in scoring position. This one by Russell Martin, and they lead 2-1. Have lost Orlando Hudson for a couple of days with a bruised left shoulder, but he returned tonight with a double and a single. The single spearheading the attack in the 8th inning when he rifled one to right and promptly scored from second on the base hit by Russell Martin to give the Dodgers a 2-1 lead. And a wound-up O-Dog with the double and single has hit safely in 11 straight. And now the Dodgers give the ball to Big John. Jonathan Broxton is 4-0, an earned run average of 1.3. He has struck out 32 while walking 7. Broxton appeared in last night's game, pitched the 9th inning, made 10 pitches and struck out 1. He also appeared in the 9th inning of the first game and made 14 pitches and struck out 1. So we'll see what he does in his 3rd game in a row, and it'll be Ramon Castro, Angel Pagan, and then we'll see about whether it's Gary Sheffield. It certainly would figure. Foul ball. Broxton comes in, and the first pitch is clocked at 97. Hello. Dodgers trying to get their home record to 17-3. That would tie a modern day major league record for the best 20-game start. The other team that holds that record, the Yankees, managed by, altogether, Joe Torre. One and one. Castro lined to short, grounded to short, flied to center, hitting .243, 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in. One and two. And a fly ball to right center, very playable. Matt Kemp is there. One out in the 9th inning. And the batter will be Angel Pagan. Jeremy Reed, who came into the game, is batting ninth. The Sheffield would have to wait to see if anybody gets on base. So here is Pagan, grounded out, popped up, struck out. A strike, 0-1. Dodgers started the night 16-3. The last team to do that, the Twins, 7 years ago. 1-1. Jan hit 97 about 4 times now in this inning. Little ground ball to the hole. It's going to find its way through. So Angel Pagan rolls one into left field. The tying runners aboard. Jeremy Reed will be coming up. Broxton faced Reed in the 9th inning last night and struck him out. Broxton 10 for 12 in save opportunities. Reed has not played much. He's only had 32 at bats. There's also a fascinating note about Broxton. Left-hand hitters this year are 2 for 34 coming into this game, and Pagan just rolled one, so they're 3 for 35. Right-hand batters against Broxton are hitting less than 100. They're 3 for 31. 1-0. Off speed. Anything under 90 is off speed. That was 84. Reed 4 for 10 as a pinch hitter this year. Check swing, throw to first. Not in time. Jeremy Reed really tied up on that pitch. And then the play at first. Angel Pagan, the tying run with 1 out. Pagan does not have a stolen base. This is only his 5th game. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out in the 9th. 2-1 Dodgers. And popped it up. It's Loney in foul ground. So Ramon Martinez, and remember way back early in the game we were talking about Ramon, about having just been called up from Buffalo, and he has struggled from the moment this series began, and here he is now one last time to do something right. And Gary Sheffield just sits and watches. So if Gary doesn't hit for Ramon, there isn't anybody else he could possibly hit for. So it's up for Ramon to somehow extend the inning. strike. Just think about it. If baseball is your living and you're called up for one last shot in the big leagues against your old club, and you might go 0 for 12 and might go back to Buffalo. So this is a big moment for Ramon. 0-1. And now 0-2. Now Ramon last night struck out 3 times, hit into a double play. Went 0 for 5 the night before, and now Broxton has him on the ropes as Belisario and Leach and Kershaw all enjoy the moment. Big crowd, 50,000, everybody up. There goes the runner. The pitch is high. No one covered. No one broke. Not Hudson, not Fergal. That was a little surprising. I think what happens is you fall into the habit of watching Broxton and you keep watching and nobody moves. And all Martin can do is hold the ball. So the tying run is at second base. Hudson signaling to Andre Ethier. Ethier comes up a couple of steps. Hudson wants to make sure they're all deployed the way Torrey wants them to be. 1-2 the count to Ramon Martinez. His one last shot against the Dodgers. Little ground ball wide at third. Casey Blake throws it out. And for the New York Mets, a resounding 0. The inability to get a base hit with the runners in scoring position. The New York Mets